It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to a special edition of whatever we're calling this, but this is an update, I guess, on the 2A Patch Batch 2019. This is a project to collaborate with a bunch of different pro-Second Amendment organizations to get some patches created as a catalyst for us each working together and experiencing the power of crowdfunding so that we can create something that each of the organizations can use to market their projects or to have some outreach or maybe even fund their projects. So we've gathered 12 different pro-Second Amendment organizations from different areas, I guess, of the 2A community, and we put them. We're going to have patches made for each of these organizations. The people that are contributing to this crowdfunding campaign will each receive a set of each of the patches, one of each of their patches. And then the organizations will receive 100 of their own patches, again, to do with what at they please, whatever the word is. And we are getting towards the end of the campaign, thanks to everyone's hard work and effort to share the project and to let people know about it. And then, of course, the hundreds of people at this point that have contributed financially to the project, we're about to hit the threshold for the funding. We did this on the Indiegogo platform, which allows community funding or crowdfunding, allows people to participate financially with the creation of a product, or in this case, a bunch of different products that are going to help the community and hopefully help strengthen our ability to communicate and work together. So we've got 194 backers at this point that have raised almost $9,500 for our goal of $10,000. And we figured we'd go live here Sunday evening, just kind of impromptu, as the odometer is getting close to the mark there, and maybe give some people some awareness of this if they haven't heard of it before, an opportunity to jump on board and let us all watch the odometer reach over the goal together. So we've sent out links to everybody that's involved, to people from, oh, you know what? I missed Tony. I didn't. Somebody send a link to Tony? Tony Simon. Shit, I'll do that over here. Everybody else except Tony got a link. I should have put everybody in a group or something. But I will forward this real quick while I'm talking. Hit the right button. Forward this. Under S, and I was typing T. So now we have it to everybody. So now everybody's been invited who's participating in the project. And it's in the middle of a Sunday night for a lot of those people. But those that are available are welcome to jump in, and we'll chat with the people that are watching this live on our YouTube channel. And of course, we're simulcasting it over at gunchannels.com on the Minuteman University channel over there. So you're welcome to join us there. And looks like we got a bunch of people jumping in. Now, Midnight Range has a chat going over on his channel. This is his normal time slot. We're corking him. He started the project off a couple weeks ago, but figured we'd open up a room and see what happens. So we got a couple of people joining us already. Matt's jumping in from Texas. Thanks for joining.
Of course.
And Night Strike's jumping in from South Dakota. Thanks for jumping in.
South Dakota.
South Carolina. I'm a little further south.
You don't matter. Calm down.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's one of those South states.
It's South something. South.
I'm at the GunTube headquarters right now.
He's at South Virginia or something.
He's on with his Night Strike account, so it's going to confuse everybody. But I'm not on with the Every Second Matters account, so I guess that's all right.
Okay, if you don't want me confused, I can change.
No, it doesn't matter. So
No,
this will
it's
be
fine. Don't worry.
this will be GunTube's first set of patches, and this will be Matt's first set of patches. We were talking about a little bit of that off air, and pretty neat. So, do you have any plans on what you're going to do with them yet, Night Strike? Have you thought about it at all?
I have not thought about it at all, but I might take a couple pictures and post them on Instagram just to tease people.
It's neat when you've got them all. I guess that's something. Oh, I think we just had 2 people, I think. So trying to remember the number there. So we'll remember it's 196. I guess we could also just watch the money part of it. So people, if you're not familiar with Indiegogo and you're interested, we'll keep dropping the link here on both sides of the live conversation that we've got going here on the platform that is not guntube.org. That doesn't really like our property or our rights, but and then we got a link over here on the Gun Channels platform. But oh, I was going to say one thing is kind of neat when you do get your a batch of patches, or when you have a set made, to take a picture of them, in a big pile. It's just neat, and usually you start separating them immediately. And I don't know anybody that just makes patches. Most of the time, you're making them, and it takes a couple of people involved to get them made, so you're immediately dividing them up right away anyway. But it's neat to get a picture of them in a big pile of 100 of them, or close to 100 or whatever you end up having, or more, hopefully. But you don't have a store or anything set up?
Not yet, but I can whip something up. Yeah, that part's easy. It's just getting something to sell. That's the hard part.
Right. And that was one of the goals. When I started this, we had success with our patch batch last year, just doing a bunch of our own designs on the Cure website store. And that concept, instead of just having, I don't need 12 designs in the store at one time necessarily. I wanted to see what would happen if GunTube had a patch. Gear Report has never had a patch before. Tony Simon from 2A for Everyone. That's an awesome project to have a actual thing that people can go home from their event with. Or I don't know how he's going to ration them. I'm not sure if he needs to ration them. We'll talk about the concept of quantity and cost or whatever here in a second, but just the idea that Tony could hand one potentially to everybody that attends one of his meetings, or what would you call them? Shoots, I guess he calls them. But people from different communities get together and learn about firearms in a, I guess, conducive atmosphere. One that's not threatening or weird, so they don't have to be apprehensive, and then gives them an introduction to guns till they're comfortable, and then lets them shoot. The literal boots on the ground type of introduction to firearms, and now people can go away with a piece of that project. That's something as far as I'm aware, he hasn't been able to capitalize on. And with people that go to an event like that and are introduced to firearms, that's something they're going to remember forever. So that little memento, I think, can have some real meaning and can give people that thing to focus on and to remember everything that they experienced at that event. So it allows the people that attend those things to remember the experience in a different way. Anyway, so that's a neat side effect of it. The Florida Carry organization in Florida that's fighting for open carry. Florida is one of those interesting states. It's pretty decent for gun laws, but for some reason open carry, it's just like Texas, right? For some reason open carry is this issue, and they'll have that for their membership or for fundraising or for outreach. When they go to an event, that's hundreds of dollars to just give away. It's a gamble. And, if you're going to be handing something out that costs hundreds of dollars without knowing there's going to be a return on it, that's difficult, I would just suspect, because I know I've experienced it. And hopefully that'll give the people that are, handing out these patches, or the people that are doing the outreach for the organization, one less thing on their mind. That's something that they don't have to think about. They don't have to be rationing that. So let's talk about the cost. So we're going to end up making, since we're reaching the goal, we'll end up making basically 350 patches. So that gets the quantity price down pretty good. Patches are like a lot of things. There's some setup fees, and then there's cost of production. So once you start producing them, it doesn't cost as much to let somebody keep producing them as it does to get them all set up to produce. So in other words, if you were going to produce one patch, there'd be quite a bit of infrastructure and whatever you call it, like mold and development time. You know, we think of the actual the pieces needed to create one of these things, or some sort of a mold, and then the applicators put the colors in and cook them or whatever they do, and you know, the finished product we get. But you know, the any type of production like this takes a couple of tries, or mixing the color right, and then there's errors in production. So you have to, normally you can kind of incorporate those costs, those errors, those, you know, prototypes into, you know, cost of 200 patches or 100 patches. It's not as big a deal. If you're only going to get 3 or 4 patches, you're eating all that cost of production. And since that's not a set thing, each project is going to be a little different. I'm sure the companies have to kind of average the costs of production out, and that's where you get these initial setup fees and whatever. So in the initial high costs for low quantity. So when you, I think normally when you buy stuff like anything, business cards, pens, hats, right, you can understand if you buy more, the what is it called? The what's the word for that? The cost gets lower. So we're at the 350 level. That's pretty decent. So what we're going to be able to do is offer these organizations. Now, GunTube probably isn't in this position to do it, but some of the other organizations might be, or some of the other people might be in a position to, instead of just get their 100, they might want 200 patches, and we'll be able to get those for them at the price, at, you know, the lower price, which is pretty cool. Because if they just went to the place themselves and said, hey, I want to get 100 patches, it's going to cost quite a bit more than if they were to get 100 additional patches here. Now, nobody's under any obligation, but at least that's available to them. And that's one of the kind of side perks that we're able to do for these organizations. And going forward, something like a GunStream or a GunTube, where, I mean, you could use 100 patches, you could use 1,000 patches, really. So, you know, I don't know if there's time to do little side campaigns, or there's certainly potential for us to let people know your PayPals and stuff. And, you know, I'll have some deadline at some point when we need to have the quantities pinned down. But if you guys want to do, or if there's opportunities for these various entities to do some sort of crowdfunding to, or just take donations to get more patches made, then, and the good part there is that if, let's say, you're going to get the 100 free. Let's just use GunTube for an example, because he's sitting right here. So let's say Nightstrike's going to get this 100 free. Let's say he wants to get another 100. So somebody's willing, or he's got the money and he gets the next 100. That's going to bring you to 450. At 500, there's usually a price break. So let's say you added 150. Now you've dropped the price again. So now maybe you can add 250 instead of 150 for the same price. And that's the kind of neat thing you get. It's economy of scale. I think that's what I was looking for before. You get to that economy of scale at some point. I mean, at some point, they don't give them to you for nothing. It gets to be a bottom price, but we're getting a lot closer to that bottom price than we were when we're buying them at 100 or 50 at a time.
Right, and what you also got to figure that, you know, with the setup, that includes, you know, them going and making a mold so that they can actually make your patches, and not just, you know, it's not just you give them an image and they just Xerox you a patch. That's not how it works.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm assuming even though they do this for a living, it's got to take them some amount of tries. You know, something like complicated one, or sometimes a bit the simple ones can be deceiving. You know, something that's just a smooth surface. How easy is it for something like that to get a nick in it? Somebody to drop something, they got to go make another one. So, you know, those kind of costs and stuff, even in a you know, place where they're doing it by a large quantity, you know, it's still got to be factored in there, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just went up another one, 197, getting a little bit closer. It's $400 away. I think it's neat though to look at, when you do crowdfunding things like this, to think about that. There's 200 people involved in this. Now this is out of nowhere, and this is $50. It's not in what's the word? Not a tiny number. It's significant money. People don't just have $50 laying around. So still, just 200 people throwing $50 or so at this thing, probably an average of $50, brings in a considerable amount of money. So I'm looking at what an organization again like Tony and his the diversity shoots twice a month up in New Jersey. Get the hiccups. You know, what funding like that? I mean, can you imagine what kind of projects he could be able to do, or people like him? We've talked to other people who do boots on the ground type things, efforts like that. I suspect there's more out there. It's just that they're not necessarily also as savvy as Tony to be able to put it all on social media, and as active as Tony, and doing the outreach and the awareness for his project as well. I mean, going to the diversity shoots twice a month is one thing, but then putting in all the extra time to promote it and let people know that it's happening is, again, that's above and beyond. And I suspect there are people out there that are doing, most of what Tony's doing, or a chunk of it. And if we can empower them and give them a little inspiration to take it to that next level, that'd be awesome. Imagine a YouTube or a gun streamer or a gun tube populated with projects that are actual human beings that are learning firearms for the first time, and all the conversations that can be had. I mean, Matt's still in here. I wish I had a nickel for every time we talked about what's the best CCW, or like some of the basic topics that people, as they come into the community, start talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what an opportunity.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure some people aren't interested in talking the basics, but there's lots of people out there that just enjoy those conversations, and having new people in the mix, new people, new ideas, new questions, new takes on it, new challenges for like how they might want to carry. Like Armenthea was just talking earlier in Clover and Ghost Chat about wearing a dress, and it's not something she does on a regular, and it she hadn't thought about it. So now, where do you carry? And that's kind of thing that we don't get in our typical conversations. Nobody's coming in and talking about that kind of stuff yet. I say yet because who knows what's going to happen on Monday.
Absolutely.
You guys see Captain Marvel already?
Yeah.
Like
it? Matt's seen it, right?
Yeah, I saw it on Friday.
You like it?
I actually did. I mean, we'll talk about it a lot tomorrow, but I did like it. I thought it was a well done movie that had some issues, but overall, I didn't think I wasted my money. So I would watch it again.
Oh, $199. So what's happening? We're probably getting backers that are here's a $2 night strike in there, right on, making sure that it doesn't peg out at 99999, I guess. Lockjaw, hey, is this all the people you were talking about before when you guys, Matt and Yankee, were live earlier on your channel or Yankee's channel? He does his show on Sunday.
Yankees. We were doing Yankees chat. I did mine first, and then we did his. And
so you were calling people as they contributed, giving them shout outs and stuff. So somewhere here, let's see, we know who Mr. Wright is. Grabbed a couple of patches. He's in Texas, another Texan. Supported our gun channels for a long time. Shows up in Tulsa.
Oh shit! Melvin Nutt just dropped one.
Did you see that in here?
It's it said less than a minute ago, right after Josh.
So do this. Oh, right there. Oh, is it happening live? Do I even need to refresh?
I refresh every so often. So, but I just happened to refresh just right now, and he was the top one.
So there's our 200 backers. So then, we're still 400-ish. Well, no, what am I saying? 300-ish away now. $330. That's pretty close. So definitely hit the 200 odometer right there. So that means Mel the Nut was the 200th.
Yeah. Yep. Well, no, wait. It says 199, right?
No. Mine says 200.
Okay, let me refresh because it shows him, but it says 199.
Oh, let me refresh then. Maybe I am getting two things.
No, you're right. Yeah, Mel the Nut, number 200.
Right on. So I'll put that in the comments so we can remember that.
97%.
How do I do this? Can I flip back and forth? No. What do we call these? Contributor? Backer?
Backer.
Very cool. So, we go look. We got 38 people watching. 100% thumbs up. 14 thumbs up. 100% thumbs up ratio. Let's see. Adam saying would love to have been part of this. Timing didn't line up. I hear that. Midnight's all jealous because he's corking them the right way. Bigger and better. 39 people. How many people has he got watching over there? 4 people. chat battle.
25.
25. You want a chat battle? You came to the wrong place.
Those are rookie numbers.
But yeah, Midnight is over there. So if you want to watch a chat where they're just chatting about actual stuff and not the patch, there's a nice chat you can watch on Sundays.
That's saying it lightly.
All right, so you guys were both, well, no, I don't know about Night Strike. Matt was around for the beginning of Every Second Matters, and one of the patches in the batch will be an Every Second Matters patch. I need to do a black and white one, I think. I'm out, or I'm pretty close to being out, I think. But I was thinking about doing like an orange or something. What do you think? Like an orange background, black letters?
Yeah. Really good.
We haven't done an orange. We've done pink already. We did a tan. I didn't really like the tan one very much. It looked kind of.
I wasn't around for the first Every Second Matters, but I did hear the first recorded one.
Right on. I was also thinking about it blue. I'm a big fan of the blue background and white letters. But I kind of need black ones because it's the real deal, and we're almost out, I think. But I have a couple of Sugar Mamas that help with Every Second Matters patches when we do them, so I might chat with them. It's not too much to do a double color. It costs something to change the color, but it's not that much. It's not like doing a whole nother run. So you can, if I can keep my quantity the same, I might do my quantity rate. That's the right way to say it. The price for the quantities down at the same rate, then I might try to do 2 colors Every Second Matters, just to get some made, because it's all about, like I was saying, it's all about getting them down to that level. I mean, it's like 350 Every Second Matters patches being made. A lot better than if I just went to try to do them myself for 100 quantity, I mean. So you guys got the email. So I guess everybody else is just sleeping as far as the other people that got the email out.
Might be a late night for them, yes.
So we'll see what people are saying over here. So if you ever want to own your own molds, I could hook you up. We need to talk almost immediately about that. So my email is gunwebsites@gmail.com. Yeah, definitely email me about that. As we speak, I'm in the midst of a whole bunch of plastics, so I definitely need some mold stuff. Talk. Let's see. So yes, these are going to be PVC patches. People are saying I didn't say it enough. I thought I did, but it says right here, let's get your favorite, some cool PVC patches. And then when you flip over to the story, once you get down to the patches themselves, it'll say they will be made of full color PVC with a Velcro back, approximately 2.5 inches. Of course, they'll all vary on the size, the size will vary on the designs. But yeah, they'll be PVC. I mean, I guess if somebody really wanted embroidered, it's a little bit different price, but I imagine at this level, you could probably do an embroidered one. I don't think anybody will care, but I think the PVC, just the colors pop. You can do better design, like Matt's design in thread, I think would look duller. In PVC, that white will just be so white it'll pop.
Oh, I have the prototype gun tube patches that you made originally with your sewer.
Yeah, and exactly. Well, my machine isn't going to do as good as like a professional machine can do. But even then, the trigger guard and the hammer and stuff, I don't think you'd ever get that kind of detail out of the sewing as you would out of the PVC.
You're right, but I was happy enough with it. That's why I've been sporting it on my hat wherever I go.
Now, for me, I'm slob, so I like the idea of the PVCs being able to wipe them off. Oh, 222, so that's 2 more on there. 728, we're getting that much closer. Gemini and Adam threw in. Let's see. Casino Boss is saying, I have a lot of success, low carb keto with bulletproof coffee in the AM, add butter and MCT powder to coffee, and usually don't get hungry until noon. Matt, you ever done MCT or the ghee butter? I know your wife does healthy stuff. He's still around. So I've heard of that. Why'd you delete that? So anyway, the idea is you put MCT is medium chain triglycerides. So those are not, they're what, medium chain fatty acids. So they're not amino acids and they're not saturated fats. And it's coconut oil basically. So the MCT powder is some sort of a coconut oil or something. And you add that to your coffee and it, you know, tastes like coconut butter or whatever, coconut oil. So it's not unappealing or anything. And then it gives you that supply of fats and whatnot. I mentioned the coffee is coffee. And then what you get, you know, your machine, your body, your machine, your motor is satisfied with proteins and whatnot for beginning of the day. And then you're not as hungry for the carbohydrates and shit like that.
Yeah, but he was also saying, you know, keto or ketosis, which means, you know, you're just running off of protein. You're not taking any sugars whatsoever.
Correct. Yeah, you put your body into a state of almost starvation, so that your chemical process starts to, instead of looking at fats, it starts to burn.
Well, that's not what ketosis means. Ketosis means you specifically burn fat.
Oh, I thought it was the idea that you quit eating fat or something, so that
no ketosis. No, keto, like a keto diet, is where you eat only proteins and fat, and then you train your body, because your body does not want to burn protein. It is the last thing your body wants to burn. It will try and burn carbs first, fat next, and protein last. So if all you eat is protein and fat, because you have to have protein or you're going to die. If you just eat a heavy protein, high fat diet, your body will train itself to eat fat first. If you kill the carbs and just eat protein and fat, it will click to fat and it will just start burning fat all the time. And so you're burning fat and eating large quantities of protein, and that's the point. But it takes training. You have to train your body to do that. Because your body, the easiest thing for your body to burn is carbs. Like, it's really easy, so your body gets used to it. It's like a crutch.
Well, you're calling it training, but I've consider it more like you're putting your body into a chemical state, so you don't train it as much as force it by what you put into it. Like
Yeah.
But like you're saying, but the effect of your body is that it has to eat something, so it eats the fat or whatever.
Yeah. So it feeds off the fat, which is actually much better for you. They've done studies that show that when your body feeds off fat, your brain activity is higher. You're much more alert and aware. Feeding off of the fat in your diet as opposed to carbohydrates in your diet and sugars, it helps you all around. So,
and that's the big part, right? Is you don't eat any sugar. So like they won't even eat like spinach or green things, because that has too much sugar in it. Like they'll
well, it depends on what it is. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people who do that, they eat a lot more vegetables, but they don't eat fruits, because fruits have a lot of naturally high sugars, which aren't bad for you.
Just they're trying to,
it can throw you out of ketosis
balance, right?
Yeah, it can throw you out. If you're specifically trying to train your body to feed off of fat, and you eat a banana, you just screwed yourself. So
I've heard it described like the bears when they hibernate, they go into ketosis, right? Like they're in there eating their reserves or whatever.
Yeah. And
you're trying to create that environment. So
there's people that train their bodies to feed off fat, and then what they do is, once they've done that, successfully for, it could be a month or two or whatever, to where they've eaten no carbs and they're just their bodies completely burn off of fat. And then what they do is they'll go and do a 30-day water fast. Like, literally, they consume nothing but water for 30 days. And all their body does is just live off of any fat cells on them. And people lose like mass quantities of weight doing that shit.
Yeah, but that can't be healthy.
It actually is. It's actually a very natural. It's a natural bodily reaction that's put in place. You have to work to get there, but it's not. If you just all of a sudden decide, I'm going to water fast for 30 days, and you haven't trained your body to feed off of fats, then you're going to die.
Then it's unhealthy.
Yeah, and it's unhealthy.
It's to simulate the idea of when the animal is like feast or famine, like when you're in this winter and you're not getting a lot of food, and it's again, chemically creating that situation inside.
Because I mean, our bodies evolved at a time when carbs were the least common thing in our diets. You know, you had to work to get carbs. You know what I mean? Like, we evolved, you know, where carbs came from berries, and there were a few other things here and there. You know, carbs are grown and created and processed. And so carbs are not, especially not the way we eat them, they're not a natural thing. They're a thing we have over the last couple centuries, not even that, longer than that, trained ourselves in our bodies to get used to burning for energy. And that's not what we were supposed to. We were supposed to work off of, you know, proteins and fats, basically. You know, whether it comes from nuts or, you know, animal tissue or whatever, right? Most of a natural diet would come from protein and fats. And so that's what your body is supposed to burn. So when you can get it back to that point, it works pretty good. It's actually pretty good for you.
I'm attempting to force my body to live off of fats by eating nothing but Fritos. So as soon as that keto chemical reaction hits,
if you could take the 97% carbs out of Fritos, and just the 3% fat, then that might work for you.
Put them in a juicer. I like this idea. Juice and Fritos, nice.
Now, I'll tell you what though. And the only reason that I am not, and I'm be completely honest here, the only reason I am not on a keto diet is because I drink, and that just doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Because
like, it's
sugars and
alcohol. It's just all alcohol is carbs. But I have in the past done a keto diet, and it's amazing. Like, it's the best diet you can be on, because you're eating meat and sausage and bacon and, you know, pretty much anything you can think of except carbs. Like, that's the only thing. When you really think about it, like, okay, I can't eat bread, but I can eat fucking bacon and eggs and sausage and all this stuff, and I can have you know, burgers with cheese and all the stuff on it. I just don't put it on bread, and, you know, I can have, you know, like, it's actually a really satisfying, delicious diet if it's something you want to do. Like, it's not a diet where you feel like you're missing anything. Unless you're just addicted to Doritos or something like that, or ice cream. It's a diet where you can literally indulge in just, I mean, whatever, because a lot of what we crave is greasy, salty stuff, which is all completely okay.
It's not a restrictive diet, in other words.
Yeah, like it's really not.
Where you're never satisfied.
You're encouraged to, like, cook things in lots of butter, you know, and stuff like that. Like, you're like,
I promised them that we would change the subject when we got another backer. So we did get another backer.
Okay.
So, thanks for that. But hey, that's what happens. You know, we're a community and we're human beings, and most of us eat a couple of times a day. And, you know, food becomes a topic that keeps us together. And we certainly eat when we meet up. Like, we'll be meeting up in Tulsa here in a bit. Let's see. No, we won't have these before Tulsa. I mean, it's possible if something happens, but I doubt they'll manufacture and ship them that quick. But anyhow, so let's change subject. Let's talk a bit about the people involved. So we've got 12 different organizations. One of them is Every Second Matters, an awareness campaign that we started back in 2013. It's been going strong. On the second day of each month, somebody gets together and chats about guns. Often, many people get together and they chat about our Second Amendment, specifically. Over the years, you know, it's not been a lockstep. It's been an evolving kind of thing. So people over the years have got together and talked about what they did specifically that day. We've used it as a way to build the Every Second Matters website. You know, it's been an ongoing process. We've used it to meet and interview activists, authors, researchers, founders, and people that run these various levels of gun owners' rights groups. This will be, I think, the 7th. I should probably look it up already. I think the 7th version of the patch, or the 7th patch run that we've done. The Every Second Matters has been an experiment in almost every single facet. The first patches were some of the first patches we had made back in the olden days, and we've made patches from almost every single patch. Run of patches on Every Second Matters has been through a different
refresh
company.
the page.
has been through a different company. So we're getting a lot closer. 98.
That is George right there. George, can I give a shout out to George? He's local to me. Like, he lives in my area. Why I have not met this man yet, I don't know. But George is a subscriber of mine. He just banged out 2 whole patch kits right there.
That's right.
He didn't get a chance to see the story time the other day, but I told him to go check it out because he was featured in that episode.
Yes, he was.
So we're literally what, $100 and something away at this point, $170 away. It's a couple of, it's like 3 potentially 3. Anybody want to wager on if it'll be 3 or if it'll be 4? If it'll be like, I guess it could be 1 if somebody just comes along and drops a bunch of money on it.
It can be 3 or it can be 2 if you still have the double sets.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. So let's go quicker then. So every second matters has been a neat thing. This will be, I've finished up, I've done the patches at different manufacturers throughout the time with every second matter. So like we just talked about, we'll probably do a different color combo perhaps this time around. Then the 2A for everyone is Tony Simon out of New Jersey. He does a boots on the ground awareness campaign, I guess, or awareness. I don't know what to call what he's doing. He does a diversity shoot twice a month. He's been doing that for years, 4 years or more. Every other week, he gets together with people in the urban community, as I guess you call it, like city type environments where they're often neglected as far as firearms things, especially in New Jersey. He brings people from all walks of life, all over the spectrum. Obviously, the city has the reach of all different kinds of neighborhoods and everything you can think of is the spectrum. Tony's awesome. He's an ex-Marine. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's a Marine, and he's a firearms trainer. He has a 9 to 5. He still does a full-time job, does all this on the side. And like I say, in addition to just doing it all, he's also sharing it and being collaborative with other content creators and other trainers and other people doing outreach like he's doing. Just exactly the embodiment of everything that I know Matt and I have been encouraging people and been proud of people doing and trying to raise awareness for over the years. I mean, it's literally, if we had Tony Simons in each state, we'd be a better country.
Yep. Tony is awesome. Tony's awesome. I got to meet him because I was doing the Open Diversity podcast, and I'm glad I did because he's doing some awesome stuff.
And that's what this kind of is all about. That was one of the instigators to this. Instead of just bringing a bunch of people who we all know together and doing the thing with all of our audiences that all know who we are, this is a way to reach, to get out and find other people. Tony's never done crowdfunding before. He hasn't had a patch yet. So hopefully going to introduce him to a lot of new facets to everything he's doing. He's got a lot of work to do, but hopefully we'll introduce a lot of other people to what he's doing, which will bring his ability to do that stuff, to the next level. We've got Gunstreamer, a pro gun video hosting platform that's been around for just going on 2 years now, and doing good stuff. This won't be their patch. It'll look something similar to this, or maybe, but that's to be announced. I've got Ghost Tactical, a content creator, podcaster, another Marine, and a lot of Marines in this thing.
My patch will look a little different.
Oh, your patch won't look like this one for sure, but you mean different than what we've talked about?
Well, no, I'm just saying that different than the one that's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a horrible, like I don't know what I was thinking. It was probably 3 a.m. when I tried to draw that horrible scribble around his design. But it'll be the Never Enough Ammo logo. This will be Matt's first patch. We got Gear Report, which is a platform for people that are looking for gear reviews, but also for the people that create gear reviews. A way that, again, we're trying to look at different aspects of keeping content being created and giving people methods of funding their content that they're creating and their whatever they're doing to the adventures they're on to get their content. And Gear Report gives both the readers and viewers a place that they can get valid stuff that isn't a platform like stupid YouTube or stupid Facebook that are owned by people that hate us and hate our property. This is a platform that Jeff has built and brings writers and contributors in to accumulate data that's independent from the social media platform. So very much like Gunstreamer or GunTube or gun channels, Gear Report is another platform out there. It's focused on gear as opposed to guns, but obviously they're very gun friendly and they're focused on Second Amendment as well. We got GunTube, who is again a video hosting platform, but unlike any of the other players out there, Night Strike is a member of the active live community is looking forward, knows where the potential is, and built tools to get us there instead of just duplicating what other people already did. Clover, another content creator that everybody's probably familiar with, podcaster, very open with how he creates and inspires others and encourages others. The epitome of what we built gun channels for. We got Yuta, the Pew Pew Jew, author and speaker and activist. And his patch will look something different than the logo patch that we show here as a placeholder. We've got the 2A Fund. Artisan Tony's been kicking on the YouTube community and on the Second Amendment as an Second Amendment activist for years. Was around for the beginning. Every Second Matters and every other campaign that's been around on YouTube pretty much. Has done his own projects and has evolved to this new 2A Fund, which is an alternative way to fund some of these projects. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it's again a way for individuals to contribute to a pool of money that then gets distributed each month to a valid 2A organization, bringing crowdfunding in a different way to organizations. We got Florida Carry, the state level organizations that's petitioning for open carry in Florida amongst education and awareness and I can't say lobbying, but politics. Good people. They've been around since gun channels has been built. Then we got Yankees, first patch with us, the Glock Perfection Kool-Aid guy, and well, everybody knows Yankee. YouTube channel, does the podcast with Matt and I every other week, and I don't know, he's been chatting for 6 years with Matt and I. I don't think he needs much introduction, but that's the people that are involved, and you'll get a set of each of their patches for the $50. That'll be shipped, and we're at 98%, so we're mere dollars away at this point from reaching the goal. So we went live tonight, sort of as a impromptu, watch the odometer roll over. So just since George posted that 100, we've got Rick dropped another 50, so he grabbed a set. Got Matthew and Neil each contributed a couple of bucks as well. And in these individual contributions, I can't thank you enough. That's what's going to hopefully save this whole thing, because I'm an idiot. They were talking earlier on Clover and Ghost Chat, and they said something about shipping, and I had said, you know what? I did this whole thing based off of like 3 patches. I didn't even, like $4 for shipping. Those 12 patches are actually going to be quite a bit heavier. So I might be getting a kick in the butt with shipping. So all of these individual contributions are going to help with that a lot. So thank you. There was a single random patch option there for a bit. I guess we ran out of those. I didn't want to do too many of those because those were going to be kind of picking out of the pot from the others, the people that were contributing. So I only did a couple of those to give people a way to wet their whistle. But I appreciate everybody who contributes. Like Adam did their $2, like Night Strike did their $2. That's literally going into postage. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Looks like we're hitting the 99. So literally the next person will be
we just got another $50 from James. James, I'm not gonna say the last name in case he didn't want it. We're $50 away.
We are $50 away.
I should probably get some kind of music going. Maybe get this countdown clock.
Yeah.
30-second countdown clock. Is that too ambitious?
I don't know, but I do want to say Rick is he's out there in the chat right now. It's LYF Pingbot. He put that in there, so that way everybody knows who Rick is. And George, my brother, who's like, I don't know, 20 minutes for me. We saw your contribution. He kind of came in. He contributed and then came in early, came in late. He didn't hear us talking about how he dropped 100 grand. I was about to say 100 grand. No. 100
whoa, 100. Whoa, somebody's getting one extra.
Yeah, he dropped the $100 in there and got us there. So, but yeah, we're literally $50 away from hitting our goal. So we can get the patches out and get everybody where they need to be. So
I should have opened up the 2-hour countdown clock instead of the 30-second countdown clock.
Holy shit! Somebody just dropped in $50.
Oh,
wait, hang on.
Not yet.
It's Pants. It's Pants dropped in $50. It's not showing up on the main page yet.
Somebody must
there.
Maybe somebody withdrew. That can happen. You know, with 200 something people, somebody could have said, "Oh, good, it funded. I'm taking my money out because I don't have this kind of scratch to throw around."
Ah, it's there. It's there. Refresh.
I told you.
Refresh.
It's Pants. It's Pants. I don't know who It's Pants is.
Probably you don't know who Pants is? Pants is Pants.
It's ITZPANTS. It's Pants.
That's Pants, dude. Pants is member of Gun Channels.
Well, I mean, I don't know who Pants is. Is that the same Pants?
Same guy. Same Pants. That's Pants.
Well, fucking A Pants.
Boom.
We done hit it. The pants put us right where we need to be. We're at like it. That's like right there. Like it's there.
Right at 10,000. That's pretty neat. So it's not over. So now let's start begging. Let's e-bag. Let's get our e-bagging on. No, we're not even started yet. Now
the e-bagging.
So we're going to go down and look at some stretch goals. I had to pull these out of my butt because I didn't know if we were going to fund, and it gets really difficult to try to figure out freaking shipping. So we've got the patches are going to get made now. So that's awesome. We will be ending on the 13th, which is Canine Veterans Day. So in 1942, the military created Canine Veterans Day to remember all the dogs, our war dogs. So we'll end it on that day. And then we'll have a few days for these guys to get off their butt. You know what it's going to be like trying to get all these guys' designs in. It's going to be impossible. So we'll get all those designs together and off to the manufacturers. They will take some time to fart around and do stuff. And then like Night Strike will be like, that's not the color red I wanted. I wanted a different color red. So we'll have to fart around like that.
I won't be like
they'll
that.
go into production. We're hoping to see them before April 16th, which is the anniversary of Arizona Concealed Carry. On April 16th, 2010, they signed Concealed Carry. It went into effect on January 30th. And for the last 9 years, we've had Concealed Carry in Arizona with no blood on the streets. Other states have used that to get Concealed Carry there as well. So we'll commemorate it that day. Hopefully the patches will arrive. Then they'll get out to everybody else. So they'll have them and be able to do whatever they're going to do with them. But that means you'll also have them in the mail that day too. Hopefully everything will get to you well before the NRA show. So if anybody's traveling to NRA, you'll have them.
Real quick, I just got to throw in that Travis P11 has said that the next 5 people that pledge $10 or more, he will personally give sensual back massages to. That's an opportunity. Yeah,
that is.
So there's that.
We actually have a couple of things. We Like Shooting does the Meal Team 6 patches. They have a set of those. I think there's 6 or 12. I'm not sure if he's going to do the whole set or what. But they've offered a set that we can do with as we please. So I gave that to Clover and Ghost to come up with something. It sounds like they're going to use that to, well, I'm going to figure out let them figure out what they're going to do with it. We also have at least one person already said that they thank you for the project, but they're not interested in the patches, that they're moving, and that we should repurpose them. So I gave that set of patches to Clover and Ghost, and they're going to figure out something to do with those. But yeah, as we move forward, I know the Yankee did some stuff. There might be other people that come up with things to see us, bring in more people, because it's not over. It'll continue.
It's gone over the goal.
Right. So as these things reach their goal, at least the way we set this one up, we set it up so that it wouldn't happen unless we reach the goal. So now that it's reached the goal, it will happen. No one will be charged until the 13th, but I think you'll be charged like on the 13th whenever it ends. So now that it's reached the goal, though, we still have the sets of 2 that are available, and then we have as many sets of 1 as you might want to purchase. So as we accumulate more funding for the project, we've created stretch goals, and most campaigns will anticipate the idea that if you bring in more funding than your goal is, how you can either do more or offer more. So we tried to break it down at 12,000, we should be able to do stickers. I just pulled that out of my butt because I really don't have any idea. Hopefully Angelina over in Allen Acre will work with us on that. But the shipping won't be too much to change with stickers. It's just a matter of making, at that point, a lot of them. So then I figured at 15, we'd add more patches. So in other words, I asked more people to be involved in this than we could fit into the project. So there's a couple of other projects out there I have in mind that I'd like to bring on board. We won't, if we can't bring them on board with this one, it's no big deal. We will do this again, and we'll see what kind of feedback we've got. Thanks for jumping in, Matt. Feel free to jump out. You got to go to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to wake up at 3 in the morning, so I have to cut out. Well, hey, look, Yankee just showed up, so he can take my place.
Okay.
So there you go.
Later, Matt.
But I got to head out, so we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks for being here while Odomina rolled over.
There you go. Awesome, dude.
Thanks
Later, guys.
Looking forward to your first patch. So Yankee just jumped in. Thanks for helping in a big way to make it all possible. And thanks to your viewers. That's really the people that make all this possible, is the 200 people that participated in this whole thing.
Yeah, I've got pretty loyal viewers.
So we were just talking about how the campaigns work, and this one was all or nothing. So it wasn't going to be, if we raised $600, we'd still figure something out. If this, you had to fund it for it to go through. So it's, now that it's funded, it will accept more funding. It will accept more backers. So we were just talking about the stretch goals. I was just going to say, I kind of picked these numbers just to have something to shoot for. I don't know if this 15,000 is set in stone. Now that we have, the whatever it is, 200 something backers, that is so many patches. I can start doing some actual math. It's less and less theoretical as we go forward. So at some point, we'll be able to do the math and see if it's practical to bring a 13th patch on board. So as we raise more funding, we'll work towards that goal. So if we can't get to the goal of bringing a whole nother contributor, a whole nother project on board, we'll save those other projects for a next run at a patch batch. And what we'll do instead is try to add more than the original 100 to each of the organizations, because we're not here to raise funds. This isn't a fundraising thing. There's no like little asterisk at the end where everything over 10,000 goes into the Gear Websites Fund or something. This is really an effort to have us all work together. Now that it's successful, it's probably a little easier for us all to work together, because we get to do it in a different way. Instead of just asking everybody for money every 5 minutes, we can start talking about what we're going to do with the accumulated resource that everyone's provided. And that gets to be a lot more fun and creative. But like I say, we'll work towards the goal of either adding more patches to everyone's haul or another organization on board. And who knows? We've got 3 days. There's 30 million something gun owners, give or take, a couple of hundred. And if for some reason 1 million of them decided to throw $50 at us, and we had $50 million, I can guarantee we'll take a big ass chunk out of that NFA. Because nobody here is looking to get rich off of this project. We're looking to create awareness and to bring more and more groups on board. So some of these goals here are kind of funny, but I guess I just want to emphasize that the point here is not to raise funds. Nobody will be profiting on this. It's all about bringing either more on board now at this point, or getting more patches to the individuals. So I want to take a second and say thank you to the 200 plus people that are financially backing this project. Not only is it funded, which is cool. I mean, there's lots of reasons. There's at least 12 reasons why a bunch of organizations are going to be able to do something with this potential. But let's talk about where we did it. We did it on Indiegogo, the second largest crowdfunding platform in existence. Crowdfunding, I believe, is going to be one of the ways that we see much more change. I mean, imagine the things that have come out of Kickstarter and Indiegogo so far. I think we're going to see nothing but more of interesting projects come out of these platforms. And now we've created a $10,000 Second Amendment successful project that'll be on Indiegogo forever. For the rest of time, when people go on Indiegogo and type in the word gun, one of the successful projects they're going to see at the $10,000 level is this project with a bunch of Second Amendment organizations working together. If they take the time to scroll down the page, they're going to get links to each of those organizations, and they'll be able to explore what they have to offer. More importantly, this giant platform out here has links to Florida Carry. It has links to 2A4E. It has links to GunTube. Those reciprocal links are valuable, and you have created a massive, valuable resource for these organizations.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I'm on a big lag because of my kids are playing service. So
we just jumped to 211, another $100 and something on board. This is really neat. So this is going to be, take it to another level. It'll be a lot of fun now as people get to think about their patch designs for real. It's not theoretical. So there'll be some artistic creativity to it. There'll be some kind of fun thinking about how they're going to play with this resource. And hopefully we'll see some collaborations. We've already seen, like Matt said, he's got Tony in on his, what does he call it on Thursdays? The
Open Liberty.
Open Liberty chat. And well, all kinds of potentials coming up. Well, I don't know how much longer we got to stay on. I know Night Strike's in the middle of the night. Yankee and I, it's like 9 o'clock.
I just stopped in for a minute because I have to choose the people who get the dog tags. I just wanted to see and check. Totally fun. I was happy to see that it did.
You did. You're chopping up, but we got your message. Thanks again, Yankee, for your help and with everything you've done for years for us all. Thanks.
Thank you, Yankee.
Hopefully I'll be able to do it for a few more years before I drop off.
Well, that's the other thing. Let's talk about when we did this project. We did it in the beginning of 2019, right? At a time when nobody wanted me to do this. To ask anybody involved, nobody wanted me to do this. They were all thinking it was an extra burden and they didn't want to be embarrassed. But we did this on top of our other stuff that we got to do to pay bills and to, keep projects rolling and to do whatever we're doing with our lives. We did this on top of it in the beginning of 2019. We've established that we can work together and that 200 people can bring $10,000 out of their wallets into an effective project. So, disregard this one all you want if patches are frivolous to you and none of this makes any difference. But we're doing this in 2019, and hopefully someone will see this, or hopefully we'll be able to do it another couple of times before 2020, and some of these organizations that are involved to be stronger than they could have been going into an election year, which I think will be pretty important for our Second Amendment. So thanks again, Yankee. Thanks, Night Strike. I see Gunstreamer is out there. Thanks to Clover. Thanks to Ghost. Thanks to Florida Carry for getting us going with the Every Second Matters years ago. We don't need to stay on all night, so we'll wrap it up with that. And thanks to the 211 people so far. We'll see how far we can go with it. If you want to keep chatting, head over to Midnight Range. He's still going live over on GunTube. Or, excuse me, he's not live on GunTube, is he? He doesn't have
No, he didn't use GunTube.
But he is live over on Gun Channel, so check it out. And it looks like Potatoes has a chat running, so awesome. Looking forward. We'll have another chat tomorrow, and we'll start getting into some of the nitty-gritty.
All right, can't wait.